Hi, I'm Paul Christopher Hoppe, A.K.A. ZenMadman. Welcome to ZenMadman's 1500 to 2000 Turtle Run. My chess bio is simple. I learned the game as a kid, then picked up some principles from my friends' parents who were chess coaches. I played a bunch with my friends, some of whom were very good, but I've never played a single rated game over the board. For the last several years, I've done a handful of chess puzzles almost every day, watched a lot of chess videos on YouTube, as well as some streamers on Twitch, and then just recently started studying openings after winning a free course from Gotham. My plan is also simple. I want to go from kinda sorta decent, I'd say low intermediate, to pretty solidly decent at the game, more of a high intermediate. To me, that means going from my current rating of 1500 to 2000 on chess.com. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm calling it a turtle run because it's not going to be quick. But I do expect that if I exert consistent effort over considerable time, I will continue to make progress and should eventually reach the lower levels of the expert region, which I believe is generally considered to be 2000. At that point, I won't consider myself a true expert at the game, but I will feel like I've accomplished something. I hope that you enjoy watching me learn and improve, and that doing so helps you learn and improve as well. All right, here we go. I'm playing white against a 1550. So there should be some rating points to be gained here. I'm going to play a London. I've been working on other d4 openings, Queen's Gambit, which I will move towards more. But for now, I think against opponents rated higher than me, I will probably go with the London. All right, so knight, I took all the coordinates off. Knight b4 seems like a threat here, so I can just push c3 to neutralize that or make that not a threat, I think. I can also go bishop d3. What are you up to? Okay. Looks like they're going for a queenside castle. I'm going to develop my knight. Kind of tempted to... they're doing this one. Yeah, okay. We know this one. So their plan is to push e5, I believe, which will then be supported by the f6 pawn and the knight. I don't really know any theory on this one. I kind of want to bring my queen out to b3, but is my bishop just going to get overrun? Alright, I'm going to develop my bishop. If they push, then I'm going to trade bishops. Oh, this is actually quite bad, I think. They're definitely going to push. I take, they take. But I can take with the knight or the... I think I have enough pieces. I have 3 defenders of the e5 square. Oh, so that's what you're up to. Okay. Well, they're not letting me get my knight in there. That seems peculiar. Do I want to castle? I'm not sure I want to castle. Do I want to push? I think I want to push e5 myself, but my king's still in the middle of the board, so that's it's a little scary, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think it's okay. They don't have a light squared bishop, and I can castle on the next move, or whenever. If they do take, I'm just going to recapture. I don't think there's anything else that makes any sense there. So they've gotten me to use more time in the opening than they have, but I'm comfortable with that. I've been playing a lot of bullet and blitz, so playing more rapid games I think will lead to more rapid improvement. I think analyzing rapid games is more fruitful because in blitz and bullet there's just mistakes that are going to happen, and I want to raise my ceiling so that then, oh, now that's coming. Interesting. Okay. I could go here and then here and here. That's one possibility. Where basically I threaten their knight. Trade the bishop for the knight. Potentially. This bishop feels very, very vulnerable. Let's see. If I take, they don't have to take. If they take back, I can give a check and then I can get out. And they'll be open. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm not sure if it works, but I find it interesting at the very least. And then I think I will retreat my bishop to e3. Looks like the square I want. I can give a check first with queen e3 or queen. That feels kind of risky. What are they going to do? They're going to cover up and then I retreat the bishop. Then they can castle and then I can castle. All right, I'm going to do it kind of out of spite. I don't know if it's good or not, but they can't take my bishop right now. They can, if they interpose with a queen, I'm fine getting a queen trade. I think, not that I'm fantastic at the end game, but I think it's one of my relative strengths compared to compared to like players at my level in general. I think overall lower rated players tend to be kind of afraid of the end game, and I actually like it because I feel like there's fewer pieces on the board. It's easier to kind of find tactics. All right, this could get kind of dicey pretty fast. I come back. I mean, if they push, what if I go this way? And then they can just keep pushing. All right, I'm going to go here. I do imagine they're going to castle queenside, and I'm inclined to castle kingside, but I'm not certain I'm going to do that yet. So they do have they have this pawn storm going. My king is so kind of exposed where it is. Man, it would be nice to have a light squared bishop, huh? Just not that I could just place it anywhere yet, but all right. And if they go g4, I actually, what happens if knight here and then? So they don't have a light squared bishop, so and neither do I. All right, so they're definitely planning on some attacking. So do I have time to launch a counterattack? Well, their attack definitely feels like it's happening faster than mine. If I'm getting attacked, I feel like I actually want to open up the center, right? I think there's a logic in that. They have too many pieces on this though. That's not going to work. All right, we're going to go this way. And we're just going to try to attack on the queen side. Not sure it's going to work. I feel like I'm pretty confident that I have misplayed something. If I go here, here, takes. My queen is not defended at the moment, so that's not fantastic. If they were to go here, I think I can let them just close things, though. I think if they push, then I'm going to have a way of closing the position, so... all right, if I go b4, see now their knight's not attacking this pawn, so now I think I can open up the center, and I think we can get some counterplay on the queen side. Try to open up their king. Yeah, I know you're doing that. Bring the knight over this way. wonder how good their knight is as a defender on b8. It's very interesting. I mean, their knights are both on the original squares, which is kind of hilarious. And one of my knights is on the original squares. We really haven't followed solid principles of development in this game. All right. So that's a thing. Well, this is impossible at the moment. F5 is impossible. So, do I want to just keep storming? I think so. I think I want to just keep the pawns rolling. Try to open up their king. They actually can't push f4, which I like. And I think I can get my bishop on f4 shortly. And that might be very annoying for them. On the other hand, they're clearly trying to do some tactics here. So the most straightforward plan seems to be defend my queen. I can defend it with the rook, or I can defend it by developing my knight to a square that it goes to. I think I'm going to develop the rook, and then I can actually drop my queen back at some point, and I think that might be effective. I have a lot of these squares defended, so it's pretty difficult for their queen to maneuver. Like, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with their queen. And I can roll this a pawn down as well. What happens if... Yeah, okay. That would be kind of annoying if here my bishop's not trapped, but they win the base of that. I don't want that to happen. So, what's the best way? I could defend it with a knight. I think I will just defend it with a knight so that now I can move my bishop. We'll see what happens. If I can go bishop f4, bishop e5. Oh, but I can't go f4 because... Oh, but wait. There's more. This seems to work. I think this works. Of course, removing their pawns in front of my king is a double-edged sword, because now my king's going to be exposed to their rooks and stuff. But I think winning a couple pawns is certainly worth the price. So they have to interpose, right? They have no other legal moves. I think I take with my queen. If I take with my bishop... Oh, I can take with my bishop, and this is defended by the knight. I did that already. Yeah, I think if I take with my bishop, I think things are getting dicey for them. They can go knight, hit my queen. I can drop it back. Still defending my bishop. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that pawn. I think it's free pawn. I could have tried to trade off queens. I actually feel like I'm the one attacking now. And I could actually probably push h3 to freeze that pawn. Yeah, I know you're going there. Ooh, or what if I go here? Does that do anything? I don't think that does. That just hangs the bishop, right? I could also just trade the bishop. Why don't I just trade the bishop? What am I up? I'm up 2 pawns? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do an endgame. Like I said, I like endgames. I suspect it's reasonable to believe my opponent may not enjoy endgames so much. Now, if I go queen f3, that could really wreck my pawn structure, which I don't want to do. But on the other hand, trading queens would be nice. I don't think it's worth it, though. Let's not forget I've got this attack going on the queen side. I can just kind of roll there. I also have this knight that's just not doing anything. Do they have any threats that are really imminent? I don't think so. So I think what I'm going to do is develop my knight. Now my rooks are connected, my knights are connected. Not that you necessarily usually want connected knights, but I think in this case it's fine. I've got a 3-to-1 advantage in pawns on the... So now I can actually go queen here because my knight is defending it. I'm a little concerned they're going to double the queen and the rook there and then try and push my queen away from the defense. That could be an issue. So let's not have that happen. What if I go queen? And then what can they do? They do this, threatening. That's very annoying. What if I just go like queen down? Is that too weird? All right, queen f3. I think it's fine because they're like never going to be able to dislodge my queen from h3, and this would have been a blunder if I hadn't developed that knight, but I did for reasons. I should have been thinking I want something on that f3 square. That would have been smart. That would have been good forethought. But instead, I was just thinking this knight is terrible. I don't know exactly what to do. When you don't know exactly what to do, develop your worst piece, make your worst piece better, basically. So, pretty simple principles trying to go for there. And maybe I just want to get my king off of this here. I don't know if I want to get my king to the corner, though. Let's see. If they push h3 and then I push, my queen's kind of going to be tied down there for a long time, but I don't think that's that bad. I think that's okay. And I think I can develop my rook and then double up. I'm going to double up, and I think this is fine. We'll find out. Nice thing about Rapid is that I actually have time to think through these things. It's 15 plus 10, so I'm never going to get to a point where I just don't have time, right? There's always going to be enough time to try to make quality decisions, and they're not going to always be the best decisions once I get to, the shorter... Oh, you know what would have been good about queen h3 is then I could have gone knight f3 and taken that pawn, except then they pin the knight. But I could defend it with a pawn. I could push g3. Yeah, winning that pawn would be huge, because then I just have 3 connected pass pawns, which should just be hugely winning. But I do think they're going to have to kind of try for some sort of desperate attack here, and I think I'm going to have enough time on my clock to, defend properly. Okay, so if I take that pawn, then they're going to go knight takes to dislodge my rook. So that'll be annoying. But it will be a trade of material, which kind of maybe benefits me. Also, I can then take the other pawn, right? So pawn takes c6, knight takes c6, rook takes... d5, if rook takes, queen takes, I'm still guarding this pawn, and I've won another pawn in that case. Some of my stuff might start to collapse, but I think it's good. And if they take with the pawn, I really am not unhappy about that. I think they're going to take with the knight. Oh, they took with the pawn. What are they doing? I don't know what their plan is. And I don't know if I actually anymore want to try to do what I was doing. Like, I feel like I should now be attacking on the queen side, right? I mean, they just opened up their queen side. I don't get it. I don't understand why they would do that. But regardless, I'm gonna just double up here. I should try to orchestrate some trades, is what I should do. I think that's the logical way to proceed here, is just try to liquidate, get into an end game. We're close to an end game, but we still have queens on the board, so I think once queens are off the board, I would call this an end game. It's feeling kind of late middle. Something like rook maybe is good. Win the bishop potentially. I can also go queen h3, and then take that, and only the queen can recapture. Oh, okay. So we're gonna do that now, huh? All right. Well, I have this. They're gonna win a pawn though over here, so that could be annoying, but I don't think that's all that annoying. They're definitely not letting me do what I want to do. What did I want to do? I wanted to go rook. I don't know what I want to do. All right, here's what we'll do. We'll give a check. When in doubt, give a check. Ooh. That's a kind of very interesting move. All right, so here, does this work? Everything's pinned. 2 rooks for a queen. Seems kind of good though. All right, this is potentially suspect, but also now I vacated this square, so I can go knight. Get my knight on f3, and then get my knight on. I should probably make a lift for my king though. Okay, what's going on here? Now they've liberated that. The king is in flight, I would say. Okay, my clock is starting to become a little bit worrisome, so what do we do? We'll continue with this plan. I think this is still okay. My rooks are connected on the E file, which I'm happy with. My knight on B3 feels fairly secure. I am using way more time than my opponent, though, so I need to get to a winning end game efficiently. And if I do that, well, I think I'll win. But if I don't do it quickly, then I think I can have some issues. I do think I'm going to win this h4 pawn, and that will be pretty close to game. They might have some tricks along the h file if I am sloppy though. So I gotta be careful. Having my queen be the primary defender of the king doesn't feel optimal. Not super thrilled about that. All right, so they're going for that again. Oh, so I would be disconnecting my rooks, but I can basically force a trade, and then I'll win that pawn. I think. Well, maybe I won't win the pawn yet. But I think I do want this trade. And then they have to take with the bishop. If they don't take with the bishop, they're losing the exchange. Unless they, well, they can maybe like attack a rook or something. But I do believe they will do that. And I could just go for the passed pawn, but I want to keep my rooks connected. Oh, so dicey. Okay. Oh, wait. The knight's not going to be hanging. What am I tripping? Okay, I'm going to bring the rook back. Even though I like being kind of infiltrating their territory, I want a rook on the back rank because my king is feeling very claustrophobic. So I think I'd rather be safe than checkmated. It's just a thing. Okay. So let's see what we got now. I can trade pawns. That seems terrible. If I push this and they take, I can take with my queen. So that's potentially okay. I can just push. If they move... If I go here and they go here... Well, so first of all, I can just take that, right? So can I just take this? If I take this and then they... Oh, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not a thing. They go here. No, that's not... All right. I don't love not having any pawns in front of my king, but... Oh, no, 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 no. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. Yikes. All right, I'm going to push G3. I think it's fine, as now I can definitely take with the queen. I've got the back rank protected. Their knight is so tragic. My knight's pretty tied down, actually. Both their knights are kind of not very active, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I think it's worse for them because they're down material and their knight's on its original square, whereas at least mine can hop into the action soonish, in theory. Oh, and there it goes. Okay, so this is defended. If I go here, kind of going for some kind of a trade. If they try to run away, I think I might be able to mate them. I'm going to do this. If rook takes, then rook takes. Oh, yeah, that's defended. So they don't have any weird trickery that I can see. My time is very low, so I need to be cognizant of that. Keep an eye on it. And there are potential back rank issues, so I also need to keep an eye on that. I think I'm pressuring my opponent a fair amount at this point. Their pieces are very much lined up at my king, but I don't think they have... I don't think they have a whole lot they can do right now, so... We'll see. They may have some tactics in their favor. What did I play? A London? Yeah, it was kind of a weird busted London. Okay. I think I can trade off a lot of material here, but, okay. If I were to go like this, threatening the queen, they can take here, forking the rook, and that would not be good. Do I want to take this way or this way? Are they both fine? I think I'm going to take this way. And I think my king is fairly safe now. I think I can actually, like, start attacking. So, first of all, I think I want to get my queen out of here, but if I go here, if they go like this, I don't think there's that much of a threat. They need to get, like, all of these lined up. So if I were to go here, then I can start taking... I don't have any way of redefending that, do they? I'll start undermining their few remaining pawns. Oh, what? Yeah, no, that's not good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get in there. Let's get active. They do have a beautiful knight outpost here, potentially. I might want to sack the exchange. But I think if they just do something like that, I take, that's with check. I can get my queen in there. I think they're just getting mated. And right now they don't have anything to... Yeah, okay, so you're doing that. That's fine. Alright, so they're not getting mated. But I can take first, right? I can take first. Let's not forget. That's a check. Checks take precedence. Where do they go? If I go here, they have to go... They can't go here. They can't go here. They go here. Queen there. Okay. Okay, we've got mate in 2, right? King here. Right, what else do they have? No, no, no. Okay, resignation. Cool. Yay. You know, always look out for tactics, checks, captures, attacks, or threats. Basically, I don't know. That's something I probably would have missed maybe just a couple months ago, maybe less even. But the key there is just if we play this out, the key there is, yeah, my queen's under attack, but danger levels, right? Danger levels. Thank you, Levy. I can hit the king, and the rook's guarding these. My queens hit these. My knight's here, so they've got 1 or 2. If they go here, that's checkmate, right? And if they go here, that's not checkmate, but they have 1 legal move, right? I think. Can't capture any... Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is checkmate. I wasn't even thinking that my rook was here. But, oops, even without the rook there, I think then just rook down, right? And then that's mate. So, yeah, good game. Let's look at the game report. And I'm sure that I made some mistakes early on in the game. So, you know, I can celebrate what I learned, right? What I did right. And what I did right, I think, was I didn't panic. I used my time. I think my opponent didn't use their time as well. You know, I came up with counterattacks at the end. And basically, I just kind of won a couple pawns along the way. But I'm confident I made some mistakes in the opening. So I want to try and learn from that. And I haven't really been practicing the London. I mean, I've been playing it, but I do have the London course, so I'm going to check that out. I mean, I've looked through it, right? But I might have actually looked through the whole thing. But I'm going to try and put it in Chessable or something and try to, like, really learn it. But let's see. Oh, I don't have a thing that tells me how... Yeah, I do. Okay, good. So that was about half an hour for that game. So I'm not sure if my plan of playing 2 rapid, 2 blitz, and 2 bullet is gonna work out, but maybe. We'll see. Okay, so, obviously book. I can look, and they had 1 blunder and 1 more mistake. Then I had a couple mistakes, several inaccuracies, and came up with the best move a little bit more than my opponent. So we'll go to analysis, right? So book. All right, that's fine. This is a little unusual, right? They usually go with knight f6, but e3 it says is best. Okay, so far so good. Bishop f5. Yeah, it's like they're playing like the counter London, sort of, right? c3. c4 is better, so just smash open, undermine their central pawn, right? That makes sense. It's not... Okay, so... If I go c4, what happens if here? What do I do? That's a bad... Oh, I win the knight, right? I just do this. I mean, I don't win the knight. They just have to go back, yeah? Or... How does this not... Oh, because if they go back, then I just take. So I do win the knight. Right? So they're supposed to go here, and then I take the knight. It says queen b3. This isn't right. Oh, because... So that's good, but then they do this, right? That's pretty nice. And then things get messy. Things get messy very fast. But it's a good position for me. So I need to think, okay, if they go knight b4, before they go knight b4, or after before, I've got queen a4. So, yeah. All right, good to know. So this threat wasn't really that scary. I shouldn't have been so worried about it. Also, I probably could have gone bishop here to counter it, because then if knight there, then I just take the bishop. So, yeah. Actually, let me see how that line plays. If I go here, does it like that? Yeah, it says that's also best. It says this is best. So I think these are things where if you come up with a move that's fine, don't really sweat it, right? Overall, develop a repertoire where we know what we're doing in each spot, but I think don't sweat it too much. All right, so getting the bishop out, pinning the knight is best, but the knight to f3 is also best. So got some good options. f6, always play f6. The plan, I think, is to end up doing this, but they didn't end up doing that, so it was a little unusual. Okay, so this is excellent, but bishop g3, drop the bishop back. Sorry, I dropped the bishop back, just kind of preempt things coming with tempo, I guess. So trade of the light squared bishops, which with my London structure doesn't seem fantastic, but I guess it's not horrible. They go e6, g5 is better. Ooh, g5, yeah, that's very aggressive. Then I have to drop the bishop back. So so if I had gone bishop g3, that would have been preventing this g5 push coming with tempo. But they decided to push in the middle. e4 is good, but not like good. Developing the other knight makes a lot of sense. This is a very straightforward move. For some reason, I thought that this was gonna... I don't know. Like, opening things up is something I felt like I wanted to do, but it maybe wasn't a super coherent thought. So, anyway, I did that. And now they do go g5, and I think I dropped... Oh, this is where I did something weird, right? Oh, that's the best move. Wow. It felt creative and questionable, but it's nice that it was creative and correct. I'm pretty happy with that. So... yeah, and then what do? They do the best move, and now I retreat my bishop. No, I don't. Oh, I give a check first. Okay, I should have retreated my bishop first. Interesting to see that I want to retreat my bishop to... does that go the right direction? No, it doesn't. I have to go backwards. Okay. I need to retreat my bishop, keep it on the king side instead of bringing it back in the middle. Yeah, so it feels like bringing the bishop back to g3 would invite, these pawns to just kind of smother it, but I can always just create a little bit of air, a little pocket for my bishop. So I guess that wasn't really a problem. you know, I put this this intermezzo, this Zwischenzug in before retreating my bishop, which now I do. Again, chose the wrong square, but it looks like the difference isn't that major. My main idea was like, I maybe don't want this like king queen lined up with where their rook can come really soon. It's going to be a few moves before they can do anything like that. And I think I castle here, right? Which is good, but h3. So interesting that I wanted h3 and I wanted to bring the bishop back. So would have been good to think about that. I wasn't thinking much about h3 for a while. I was thinking if I go h3, then that's if I go h3 and then they go g4, that's gonna like give them a little hook. So what happens there? Is that a bad move? That's a bad move for them. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I just get my knight over, and then my knight's like there forever. And then if they take, that's bad. And I can just like do a little rook lift, and I can castle queenside eventually if I want to. Okay, so don't want to go down too many rabbit holes. So now they've got this pawn storm on the king side, which I just castled right into. Which it says castling's good, but I am at a disadvantage here, right? We're even in material, but it says I'm about one pawn down almost in terms of, you know, strategic, you know, positionally, I guess is what gives me that disadvantage. And it's not hard to see, right? They've got a nice secure king. Most of their pieces are developed, except, you know, these pieces are kind of not doing much, but they can jump in pretty quickly. They're gonna run these pawns, and my king is castled, but is going to be potentially susceptible to those. And I've got these pieces in the corner also doing nothing. So I don't have any like counterplay. I don't have any compensation for this positional disadvantage, I guess. Okay, so they're supposed to develop the knight first. I think what they wanted to do was start their pawn storm first. It's fine. Okay, let's see. Now I start my pawn storm, which was correct, but it was the wrong move. I was supposed to go c4. I needed a more explosive attack, but it says this is good. So, okay, at least it's kind of the right idea. Getting some counterplay. Let's see the top three moves. c4, a4, b4. Okay, so clearly the plan is counterattack, right? Get some counterplay on the queen side, attack their castled king. And they keep pushing. And what did I do? Did I keep pushing? I think I did, right? I think I said, you know what? Your threat, whatever. Here's my threat. Now, I did the threat wrong. I should have gone a4. But I was right to be storming over here. Well, they're storming over here. No, I'm storming here. Okay, whatever. So it's an inaccuracy because I'm pushing the wrong pawn. But the idea, the basic premise, let me get in there, is correct. Why is this not as good? So because I want this to be defended first, if I do this a4 line, what happens? They're going to go, what, bishop d6 is their top move? Or h3? No, that's me. Okay. They go here. Is that good? Yeah. And then what do I go? Okay, so the point is I want to run this a pawn up the board. So the reason I went b4 should be so that I can run the a pawn up the board. That's going to be more effective than running the b pawn. Even though the b pawn dislodged the knight, it seems like that wasn't really optimal. So let's back it up. Instead, I went b5. They put the knight back on the original square, which was a mistake. They should have just hopped over to a5. And if they'd gone a5, then they would have had a knight there forever if they wanted. They could have defended it or whatever. I don't have a light squared bishop to infiltrate, so I think they would have had a nice position there. And then it also would have defended against... Oh, and not only a5, but, right, they go a5, and then they can go c4 and get a really nice outpost for their knight. So that makes sense. I can see why their move was a mistake. And actually a mistake, not like an inaccuracy, it says. All right, so now I'm undermining. I'm trying to bust open the center because they are... I feel like storming isn't necessarily going to do that much at this point. And, well, not storm, but, you know, the B pawn doesn't kind of have, like, a clear idea yet. So undermining their central pawn and then really getting a little more into this queen side felt like a good thing to do. They ignored it. They just attacked my knight. And I retreated the knight, which knight e1 was better, but I really didn't want... I wanted to eventually connect these rooks, so I was a little shy about knight e1, but I think knight e1 to reroute to knight d3 makes some sense. Anyway, they go f5. Now I push c5. And so c5 was excellent. Cool. Okay, they bring the queen over. What's their plan here? I don't know. I mean, I think their plan was, I saw their plan, right? It was to push f4, winning the bishop, because if I take, then I hang my queen. So I decided to defend the queen instead of losing the queen, which was the way to go. Defending with the knight was also good. And now they've made a couple little positional mistakes, and all of a sudden it's gone from them having the pressure on me and having the advantage to now all of a sudden I have the advantage. So I go knight to b3, and I don't really know what that was for. I guess that was to defend here so that I could move my bishop. It says it's good, but bishop f4, it was better to just go ahead and do that, which actually looks like it sacks a pawn, right? Because queen here, but then what do I do? This must be bad for them. Oh, yeah, then we have this, right? It looks like, oh no, my rook. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. So then they basically have to go here, and I just win a clean rook, right? It's not even just it's not an exchange, because that rook's undefended. So that would have been a really interesting line to take. But I didn't. I went knight b3. Queen slides over. Now they push, and it seems like this is not the time to be doing this. Oh, no, I don't. That doesn't work. Yeah, so I did this this intermezzo again, Zwischenzug, where this is where I won 2 pawns, right? They just overextended these, and they failed to check for checks, right? They failed to look for checks. So I looked for checks. I wouldn't say that I had this very systematic thinking checks captures attacks, but maybe I've been thinking that enough that I looked for it and I found it, right? So I'm happy with that. And they interpose, which seems probably not the best. And I think I took with the bishop, which it says is the best. What's taking with the queen? How's that? That's an inaccuracy, so that's significantly less good. And then they retreat their bishop, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this was good. And I'm threatening bishop e5. I need to get better at the names of the squares. And they attack my queen, so danger levels, right? I think that was a pretty good move by them. I mean, it's the best move, so it was a very good move. But at this point, their position is already, I think, in really bad shape. They're already collapsing. And I'm just like, yeah, let's just trade off these pieces, right? Let's get less material on the board. And I developed that knight. Developing the knight to the other square was also good, but I wanted... Oh, I hadn't thought this through. I wanted the knights to defend each other or something, and I didn't want this just like hanging here. But either one seems fine. The basic theme being just develop it. So queen h3 was best. I was thinking that queen h3 was pretty good, right? Because it defends this. It's kind of unassailable. There's no light squared bishop. The rooks can't get here to attack the queen. I mean, they can't even get in. So... but I just wanted to trade off material, just like, let's trade queens. They're like, no, I'm good. And the other thing, though, is the queen on h3 has this nice pin on the rook. So this is an inaccuracy. I really want that queen on h3. Okay. So it seems to me like it's a little bit more of that there's something better. Is this capture a mistake? Yes, it is. I felt it didn't feel good. Okay, so yeah, a4, just back up the pawn. Busting this open wasn't the way to go. So what happened? So I captured, and then they captured with the pawn. And I was thinking, if they capture with the knight, I really don't like it. But I had some idea. I think I was going to win a pawn, but then they were going to win this, and it's going to be a little shaky. But instead, they captured with the pawn. Now they're going to have this weakness like forever, whereas they could have had, you know, 2 pawns here, shelter for their king, kind of, and yeah. So basically, we traded mistakes. I double up my rooks, which is good. Seems like a very straightforward way to try to convert. I think I give a check here. Yeah, that's best. You know, when in doubt, check it out. I don't know. Okay. We'll work on the sayings. Queen h3, finally, right? I've been eyeing that square. Finally took it. So that was a thing to do. So I did it. Okay, now the king. Now this is where I think they started really kind of falling apart. They developed the king. They're trying to run the king out that way, but they needed to just get further away, I think was the way to go. So I get my knight to f3. I'm going to hop in here. I'm also threatening to win this pawn, although I can end up subject to a nasty pin, so that might not work as well. And they go ahead and attack that pawn, but I'm like, yeah, I'll jump in there anyway. I was also considering knight a5, and I think I make that move in a minute. I take with a rook, right? No, oh, I take back that way. Interesting. Okay, so this was a significant mistake, basically relinquishing some of the advantage. What I needed to do was take with the pawn, disconnecting my rooks, right? They can't see each other anymore. But what happens? So if like queen f7, right? What do I do with my rook? Do I just bring it over here? Okay, yeah. So that's pretty straightforward. And then I'm going to be able to go here. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay, so I didn't calculate that, right? I didn't really think it through. I was like, I don't want to disconnect my rooks. But I could have disconnected my rooks and then said, or I could have thought, if I disconnect my rooks, what can they do? What are their threats? What can they, you know, can they win a rook this way? And then you look at it and you go, no, okay, I'll take with the pawn. Because then I have this really strong pass pawn, right? If I take with a pawn. And I think they're just in a lot of pain. So that's fine. It's a mistake, but I still have a strong advantage. And I think here's where now I try to trade off these. Oh, I wanted to try to trade off these rooks. I didn't. First I went g3. They moved the knight. Now I try to trade off the rooks. Okay. Let me see if when I went g3, this was best, right? Yeah, okay. Cool. So it's nice to see that one of my candidate moves was the best move, right? You always want to like at least consider the best move, and then if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. But at least have it like on the radar. So I think they should have traded off, or oh, they're supposed to go over there. What if they go there though? If they go, oh yeah, I can't take that. If they go here, I think I just have to capture and then capture, right? Yeah. And then maybe I do this. No? What do I do? Oh, I'm supposed to do this. That seems so weird. So weird. Okay. But they're not going to have any really good checks. So, all right. So what actually happened? That happened. Now they hid their rook from my rook, but this was their downfall, I think. So what happens is now I jump in over a knight a5, and this is just like, oh, okay, you're attacking me. If I go do something like this, and then you go like here, and I'm like, what? And then they go like 1, and, oh, I thought that was it. I thought they were going to have a mate. No. Okay, well, whatever. But they're going to have some fun. That's not it. All right. So I don't know what they're supposed to do, but I think, yeah, they can get a draw. I don't know if they get a perpetual or what, but they recover, right, if they do that. But instead, they try attacking my queen, which makes some sense. It's like, okay, I'm threatening a pawn, right? So attack my queen. But I'm not threatening a pawn. I'm threatening checkmate. So now I have mate in 1. And regardless of which way they move the king, here or here, I'm going to go queen c8, checkmate. Rapid success, right? Let's go back to the moments. Okay, we'll just look at these. Wow, it's just going through them. Okay, that was a critical move. That was the only good move, which is interesting because I think it would have been easy to miss. I think it would have been very natural to just move the bishop. So I'm happy to find the only good move there. And then this is a mistake. I didn't want to take that. What I want to do, I want to reinforce it with a4. Right, that's the way to go there. Okay. That's a mistake. I'm still winning, but instead I wanted to create the passed pawn, which is defended by 2 rooks, and I'm going to be able to push it and defend it by the queen, and I can get this rook out if they try and attack it. And if I trade off the rook, that's like super fine also, I think. Also, I'm going to be able to block their passed pawn, probably. I mean, unless they push it. But they're going to have a lot of problems there. All right, and that was it. And so, you know, my game score wasn't fantastic. I had one the other day, which was like a 95, which felt super cool. But sometimes it's low and you get the job done, and sometimes it's high and you lose anyway. So regardless, I feel good about this game. It was pretty fun. Thanks for watching. You can give a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I stream some on Twitch. I do a lot of poker and various other things. So once again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.